are often called upon to trust in things that are beyond our ability to see or imagine. The deeper that I journey into faith, the more that I must trust a divine presence or a God who moves in invisible and mysterious ways. I don't believe anymore that God is out there or up there. I believe that God is in here, within. I believe that God is within the heart and the soul of all that is a part of this awesome creation, this evolving act of creation. When I gaze into the eyes of another person, I'm invited to see a part of God and the potential that is in that person. God also invites us to look beyond the outer appearances of another and to see the potential that lies within, the potential within all of us and within those that we meet whom we have no knowledge of. This morning, in an act of blessing and parent dedication, we were invited to look adoringly into the eyes and face of a beautiful child, Izzy Elaine. And we wonder, as we gaze into Izzy's eyes, who will she become? What will Izzy choose to do with her life? What about life will she love? What will Izzy choose to do with her life? What vocation will she follow? Who will Izzy choose as her friends on this life journey? As God rejoices in this new life, as God does in the life of every person who is born, we are invited to rejoice with God and to see the potential that God sees in this beautiful child, Izzy, and the potential that God sees in every child around the face of the earth that is born. Milton Humason was born in Dodge City, Minnesota in 1891. When Milton was 14 years old, his parents sent him to summer camp on Mount Wilson near Los Angeles, California. The mountains, forests, and the soaring views of Southern California stole his heart. Milton convinced his parents at age 14 to let him take a year off of school and to stay on Mount Wilson and find work. Milton worked as a bellboy at the Mount Wilson Hotel. Then later he found work as a mule driver, hauling lumber up the trail from the Sierra Madre mountain range to Mount Wilson to build a new astronomical observatory, which was an enormous project in the early part of the 1900s in space exploration. Milton Humason worked his way up from mule driver to janitor at the observatory, where he worked with a man by the name of Edwin Hubble. Humason asked another astronomer to teach him mathematics in his spare time. And gradually, Humason learned about the photographic equipment that was used by the astronomers for delving into the nature of the star world. Humason rose to the role of photographic assistant and then assistant astronomer. He worked closely with Edwin Hubble and Hubble's protege Alan Sandage. Milton Humason, a school dropout at 14, rose from mule driver to janitor to photographer to determining the radial velocities of 620 galaxies and helped measure the distance of our universe and its age. God sees potential even when we have no idea that potential is there. The world is sprinkled with different types and kinds of people. And for the most part, that's a really good thing. You and I, we can't choose anything that we want to be, because we can't all be beautiful. We can't all be successful. We can't all be musically gifted or athletic, or have minds that penetrate the secrets of the universe with the intelligence of a Milton Humason or Edwin Hubble. But we all have potential. God sees and celebrates the potential that is in us, from the tiniest seed to the grandest of living things. And maybe all the potential that God has gifted us is with just taking another breath of life from a hospital bed or a wheelchair. But you and I will never know how that breath of life is transforming, how it will transform the lives of others and the decisions that are made on its behalf for the entire humankind. Potential. We have no understanding of the potential that lies within us. Jesus saw potential in the lives of people he met and touched. The potential to love. The potential to be kind, compassionate, to extend justice and forgiveness and mercy. The potential to use who God has gifted us to be in service to others. The potential to heal and transform life around us. And in order to help people see their potential, Jesus told little stories called parables. They were scenes from everyday life, and they helped people to see and experience the world in an entirely different way. They challenged people to act in ways that would be life-giving, and even at times, the parables that Jesus told would indict when people were making choices that were not rooted in God's love. The two parables that you heard in today's lesson picture seeds and growth. The first parable about a growing seed teaches about the hiddenness and mystery of agricultural growth that's happening beyond the sight or the control of the farmer. In doing so, the parable invites us to trust in the growth of God's empire, world, or realm. Whatever appears dormant and lifeless to us is growing, is evolving, is flourishing. That's a very difficult thing to imagine. The second parable about the mustard seed affirms the contrast between things that are exceedingly tiny and things that are grand. The tiny mustard seed has a diameter of just 7/100ths of an inch. 7/100ths. Yet when the mustard seed is planted into the ground, it has the potential of reaching 10 feet in height. Sort of like the sunflower that Gabe talked to us in a children's sermon. A tiny seed, and you know how big the sunflowers can grow. The mustard seed, so tiny, has the ability to produce shade and comfort and life for birds who come and make nests and care for their young in them. The parables of seeds, of mustard seed, of a farmer sowing seed, hold promise and give hope to the small yet growing community of Jesus followers that Mark's gospel was addressing in the year 70 AD, one of the most transitional years history has ever known. The temple in Jerusalem has been destroyed. The people had endured a decade of revolts and fighting against Rome and Caesar. Jerusalem was burned. The population had left to the Dead Sea or up north to the Sea of Galilee or into other areas of the Mediterranean world. Mark's church was small. Mark's church was vulnerable. Vulnerable if it confessed what it believed, that Jesus was one whom God had sent to transform and heal and be God's agent in changing the world. Mark's church lived in a tug of war between two empires, Caesar and Rome, and the empire claimed by Jewish revolutionaries. These two groups commanded the attention of their day through intimidation and violent uprisings much like ISIS, or yet not even like ISIS, but just to give you an idea. Yet Jesus' parables claim that the future is not in the hands of violent people, but in the often unseen activities of God. Like the mustard seed that spreads its branches, greatness is measured by shelter given, not the power taken. And those who follow in the path of Jesus will understand that the purpose of religion and spirituality is not about the individual, but the potential that all of us have to be shade and comfort for those who come to find safety and peace in our midst. In the parables of Jesus, the seed is an important image, as it is throughout all of Scripture. The seed, you see, is a symbol of wonder and mystery, of hidden potential and maximum growth that produces life-giving outcomes. Within each one of us, within our DNA, lives far more than what we know about our own design. With the help of Jesus' teachings, may we be encouraged to discover this potential that exists within, to be the sudden bursts of energy that break forth into the world as seeds of goodness, as hope shared, as courage, as peace. We invite you to become or to consider being a part of a community that seeks transformation and seeks to be a guide and a model of Christ's love and compassion. If you choose to be a part of that or seek to be so, then we invite you, as we do every Sunday, to come and question or to dialogue or to become a member in our meeting.